You have the sounds of the motorbikes going by. You have the heat. It's bold, it's intense. This is Vietnam in a bowl. This is what makes Vietnamese food so addicting. And you wonder why Vietnam's so popular. Vietnam is filled with some of the most mouth-watering and addictive foods in the entire world. And today, you and I are heading the streets to find out why. What makes these foods so addictive, so mouth-watering, and to find out also, is it safe to eat them sitting curbside with all the motorbikes buzzing by? Are you going to get sick? And stick around because later in the video, I'll take you to where heads of state go when they come here to dine in Vietnam. Let's go, I'm hungry. Vietnamese street food is a journey. Every bite introduces you to something new. Whether it's a spice, an herb, or a preparation style you've never tried, it's this endless variety that keeps you coming back for more. This is a food odyssey, a journey to try to understand what makes Vietnamese food so damn delicious. Oh no, coffee, no. Come on.
Take care.
Bye. You're probably wanting to kick off the day with a coffee, and I don't blame you. Those guys there were just inviting me in to have a coffee. But it's not just you and I today. It's our tour guide who's guiding us all around Saigon. And Katie?
Hi, nice to meet you.
That's right. We're gonna get into some pho, but stick with me. We're gonna get to that Vietnamese coffee you've heard all about here in a minute. We found this pho joint right here, and I think it's good.
We in District 5 at Chinatown.
This is it right here. This is probably the dish you've heard about all around the world because for Vietnam, its most famous dish, it's the pho. Not pho, pho. It's like pizza and pasta from Italy or pad thai from Thailand. This is a mixture of hearty broth, beef that's been brewing and stewing in there for hours, all sorts of herbs and bean sprouts that we're gonna mix in and get into it.
You know, like it's a typical breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Huh.
Yeah.
You can eat it any time of the day.
Yeah. All Vietnamese, we love it. The fresh pho is made from rice noodle. They have many kinds of beef. Vietnamese, we do love it.
What I love about pho, and indeed Vietnamese food in general, it's a mix of sweet, salty, sour, spicy. This pho, it just isn't soup. This is Vietnam in a bowl. Good. Nong vai.
Yeah.
That means delicious. This broth, what we're looking at here, it's a broth that's made with bone stock of pork, of beef that's simmered for hours. And then right at the last minute, they have your fresh noodles that are cooked, mixed in with the bone broth. And you don't want to let any of this broth go to waste. Katie, are we going for coffee?
Yes.
Okay, we're hitting up the iconic dishes today in Vietnam. We've had the pho, the famous Vietnamese coffee. We're gonna go get it now. These are some of the things that make Vietnam and the Vietnamese cuisine so addictive.
Cà phê sữa đá. Sữa is a condensed milk and đá is ice. Coffee is cà phê. Cà phê sữa đá.
And what's the brewing method? Because I saw she was making it through what looked like pantyhose, a woman's stocking.
Actually, it's just a filter. It's not the women's stocking, you know. But it's a traditional way of this coffee shop. This is the only coffee shop they have that way in Ho Chi Minh City. In other coffee shop, they just pretend to be like that, but it's not the traditional way. They get a Vietnamese coffee and they blend it. All this process they do by themselves. Cheers.
This is it, Vietnamese coffee. You have to have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as you want in a day. Everywhere you go in Vietnam, the cities, Hanoi or Saigon, you'll find coffee shops everywhere. This place here, we saw the lady brewing it in that traditional way. It's a strong kick, and if you like condensed milk and the sweetness, that'll balance it out. It's bold, it's intense, it's like Vietnam itself. The great thing here in Vietnam is that you can get any sort of coffee to order any way you want it. You can get it with coconut milk, you can get it with condensed milk, you can get it iced, you can get it hot. or you can get it straight up, just bitter and dark, like me. So with each cup of coffee that you have in Vietnam, you're getting a taste of the story, a taste of the history, the unique French influence here in Vietnam. It's a bit of a way, I guess, to learn about the history of Vietnam in a cup of coffee. Now we're gonna get into one of the most iconic plates after the pho,
Right.
which is bánh mì.
Bánh mì.
How do you say it?
Bánh mì.
Bánh mì.
Yes. So very famous. It's a typical breakfast for us.
This is France infused with Vietnamese culture.
Yeah.
And we know it's France because it's the baguette.
So this our restaurant for more than 20 years.
Ah.
Yeah. Egg butter, some sausages,
So what typically goes in?
pork, chicken, or egg. If you are vegetarian, cucumber, radish, and carrots, pickle, coriander, sauce.
What's the secret sauce?
Soy sauce and the sauce they cook it.
And when do the Vietnamese typically eat bánh mì? Is it?
Morning. It's crunchy outside and inside it's empty.
How is this different than the French baguette?
They add rice flour and wheat flour. It's different because the French baguette inside is thick, right? And it's not empty, but inside here is empty because they want to have some filling inside.
You start to understand why this is a Vietnamese icon. It has everything you want, that sweet and sour, spicy kick to it as well. And it has that French Vietnamese combination, the fusion, the crunchiness of the baguette outside, and the smooth ingredients, the Vietnamese ingredients, the cucumber, the pate. It's that perfect go-to snack when you're street side, you pull up on your motorbike, you get one of these. It's a great way to start your day and get going. What's your tip, what's your recommendation if you're a visitor here, someone's visiting and they're a tourist, how can you avoid those touristy places? How can you find the local food places?
You know, like when you pass by somewhere, and in Vietnam, we have a traditional way to guess is it delicious food or not. You just like see a lot of people come in and you know, like they eat that things. It's really famous.
So if it's full of locals, then you want to eat at the place. That's
Right.
what we do anywhere around the world.
Yes, and that is a good tip.
Okay.
Yeah, this place is not on the internet, but you know, like when you come to our tour, we know all, so that's why we take you there.
Slight promotion there for Kiss Tours. She's professional. Look at those fresh ingredients. Like a salad between two pieces of bread, and it's on the go, and it's cheap as well. There's no fuss here. It's just made. All the ingredients are put in. They slap it in a bag, wrap it in some paper, and you're on your way. And you wonder why Vietnam's so popular. This is it.
We in the chicken in the flower market, and this is the Cambodian sweet desserts and also the Vietnamese dessert as well, and it's very famous. So if you love, you can come over here and taste it. And here it's started in 1970 until now. It's passed around 2 generations from her mom to her. And you know, like very yummy. Should try here.
And what's the most iconic Vietnamese dessert?
In the south, we do love something have the coconut milk, like a cake with the coconut milk. And here is a sweet dessert soup, or we can call it chè. C-H-E, chè. They make a different taste, like the taro, sweet soup, or beans soup. And they have the coconut milk, and it's delicious. After the meal, main dish, we should try this. Ngon vãi. Green color is from Canada. It's good, right?
Wow, good. Does it have sugar in it?
Yeah, they do have the sugar and they marinate it.
Come on.
Rồi, mất tiền nha
This wasn't planned, but as it is in Vietnam, when you're walking around and you see a nice sweet auntie there serving up something, you're curious, you ask, and they give you a little sample, and the next thing you know, you're buying their product. So this is tamarind in a sweet syrup, and yes, we're in Vietnam, and yes, it is 100 degrees out here, so it's on ice. All right, we have a snack coming up that's fresh and packs a punch, so stay tuned. Let's go. Now maybe you want to start off your day with some pancakes. Well, they don't do those sorts of breakfast here in Vietnam, but we have something similar here in Vietnam called Bánh Xèo. And that's a sizzling pancake. And yeah, she's making it right there.
This is the traditional dish in Vietnam. So this is the South version, because you know, like the North, the Central Park version is small. This is the big version, and it's from the South because we have the culture of sharing food with the family members. And the rice flour, we have the coconut milk, egg yolk, and turmeric. And inside we have shrimp, pork, bean sprout, and mung bean.
So it's nothing like an American pancake with maple syrup on top.
No, different.
It's savory, not
You
sweet.
see, you see, she make it on. Okay, so do you know this one? It's lettuce.
Lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce.
Okay.
And this one, have a bite.
It's a wasabi.
We call it horseradish. You know, actually, it's not like a real wasabi. We use this one to make fake wasabi in Vietnam.
So in here we have the shrimp, we have pork as well.
Yeah, this is the pork, shrimp, bean sprout, and mung bean.
And the trick is on this, the thinner the pancake, you know it's quality.
It's coconut smell, right? Crunchy, coconut smell, and you like it, right?
Yeah.
Here we don't wrap it with the rice paper. We just wrap it vegetable. Okay.
So basically you're making your own little fresh spring roll from the crispy pancake, wrapping it up in these greens, and then bam, right there in the fish sauce. And if you want, you can combine some chilies in the fish sauce and then combine it with your mouth. Oh yeah, it's the combination of the freshness of the lettuce and the crispiness of the pancake on the inside. This is what makes Vietnamese food so addicting. Every street stall, every vendor, they all have their own story and they all invite you in to try foods like this. Believe me, they'll have you coming back for more. So we have the different layers of green, the lettuce, wasabi leaf, the fish mint, and believe me, it tastes like fish mint oil. You put in there some of this goodness and you roll it. More fish sauce and greatness. Oh yeah. This is Vietnamese food. Wok fried, mixed with some fresh greens, and you have your different sauces. You have the sounds of the motorbikes going by. You have the heat, the temperature, you're sweating, your taste buds are happy, you're in heaven. I mentioned we'd get into whether or not it's safe eating Vietnamese food curbside, whether or not you're gonna get sick in Vietnam when you're here. Well, first, if you're enjoying this video, please do me a favor and click the thumbs up, the like button down below. That helps me out a lot. Also, have you subscribed yet? If you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe. A lot of you are yet subscribed, and doing so will make sure you get all the updated videos as soon as they come out, and it helps us grow the channel to get these videos out to a much wider audience. Okay, Gai Cuon, what we know in the West as a spring roll, and this is one of those famous Vietnamese dishes, an icon of Vietnam. And this, for me, is Vietnam all wrapped up into one right here. The freshness, the ingredients, the love and the care, the attention of Vietnamese food, bite size, and you get your peanut sauce in there. Oh yeah. The charm in Vietnamese street food is it's prepared immediately right before you. It's fresh, it's light, it perfectly helps us understand the addictiveness of Vietnamese food. So rolled up in this fresh rice paper is lettuce, shrimp, mint and pork and vermicelli noodles. The perfect combination, the secret sauce. The crunch of the ingredients, the greens, the vermicelli noodles, the hit of the shrimp, the surf and turf with the pork and the shrimp. Bye-bye. Katie is setting me up for marriage here with the so sweet. No, bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Come on. Well, I couldn't resist another coffee along the way. These iconic foods that we're seeing today, well, we're in Saigon, but this applies whether you're in Hanoi in the north, Sapa, or all the way down to the south and the islands. Now I want to know, are these foods safe to eat? Are we going to get sick? Do tourists or visitors need to worry about getting sick eating all this street food?
You should try here, no worry. I think that your stomach come from like a new environment and just take time to adjust to it.
What's the best thing about Vietnamese food?
The taste of Vietnamese, you cannot find in anywhere. The fish sauce.
The fish sauce.
Yeah, the fish sauce now. We're going to try the Obama or real pork with vermicelli noodles. Bún chả.
All this going about, trying all the different foods, it's great and I suggest you do it, but it's a lot of hustle and bustle getting to and from if you don't know where you're going. What I've done this time is I've linked up with Kiss Tour and they're great.
Yes.
All women owned, women operated, and friendly tour operators, I'd say.
Yes.
So thank you, Katie.
Yeah,
Thanks.
welcome to Saigon Kiss Tour with us.
You remember when I mentioned at the start of the video about heads of state and what they eat when they're here in Vietnam? Well, this is the plate, bún chả. It kicked off when Anthony Bourdain, the OG food vlogger, brought President Obama to Hanoi and they sat down and they had a plate of this great dish. And we're gonna go get some now. Let's go.
This is where the bún chả. This is bún chả.
Bún chả Hanoi.
Yeah, right. Famous. This is the bún chả Hanoi, and you know, like we have the papaya and carrot pickles, and this is the grilled pork, and this is the broth from fish sauce. They cook it and they add sugar inside ready, and we eat with the vermicelli noodles. And beside us, we have a vegetable, a mini garden here.
This is a serious mini garden. If you think you're not going to get your vegetables when you're here in Vietnam, think again.
Yeah, and you dip with the fish sauce in here and you just eat that.
Grilled pork in the fish sauce, slices of papaya, all mixed in there. This is the dish that Anthony Bourdain introduced President Obama to when they were in that restaurant in Hanoi. That table's now glassed and cased off, so you can go there and see it for yourself. But this is another one of those iconic dishes of Vietnam.
And then you add the vermicelli inside. There's many ways to eat, but this is my way, or you can dip it directly.
The trick is mixing everything right on this dish and getting it all collected into one. But frankly, I like this better than our first dish, the pho, the more famous dish. If it's good enough for the President of the United States, it's good enough for us. There's a reason people love Vietnamese street food. It's the perfect combination of flavors, textures, and freshness, all served up in an area that just feels alive. The locals, however, do wish us tourists were more aware of certain things. Find out by watching this video here.